Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to talk about the absence of time and learning how to break the time loops that we're in, and knowing that what we have to do is that we have to do something that is out of the norm and out of the archetype of what we're supposed to do in this earth plane. That's why a lot of us are awakening to this fact that we have the ability to slow down time. We have the ability to generate the energy that is around us, generate time, and we allow ourselves to be in the absence of time because we're seeing through the illusion of time, and knowing that we are becoming infinity, and knowing that we have all the time in the world to do what we really want to do because we have a reset. We allow ourselves to recalibrate everything. So we allow ourselves to see that it's not based in the minutes, it's not based in the details, it's not based in the outcomes. We always focus so heavily on the outcome and the details and time and worry and stress. But then we realize that we're able to manipulate time, that we can actually generate different infinite ways of seeing. We can see it through a different perspective. We can see it through a different reality. We can see it through a different lens of perception. And it was funny, I was watching this movie called Looper, and he saw what he had to do at the very end. So it's like you can see all of your past lifetimes. You can see all of the times that you're succeeding. You can see yourself being prosperous. You can remote view yourself in a different timeline. So this is how we quantum leap timelines, and this is how we break out of a distorted time loop, a pattern that we assume ourselves to be. And we can allow ourselves to see that if it's going in a circle and it's following our alignment, and it's following the course that we're supposed to take, the journey that we're supposed to follow. So that means that it's reciprocating itself. That means you're coming back into balance with who you are because you're developing that sense of self-remembrance. And then you're acting on things that are going against the grain of that said time loop. So you're jumping out of the time loop, you're quantum leaping into another parallel reality, and you're seeing that you're not based in location. You're not based in time. You're based on how you feel and how you channel and how you carry the torch for the new future. So you allow yourself to become something very sacred, and you become powerful in the very fact that you're not based on what this world wants you to be, on what this incarnation wants you to be, but you get to decide what you get to be in the absence of time. So you allow yourself to shapeshift and to manifest into anything that you're supposed to become on this earth plane. So you allow yourself to shapeshift. You allow yourself to become the shift and the migration and the manifestation of life that is unfolding in front of you. And that's what's beautiful about the absence of time, is that you don't have to worry about all the time in the world. Are you going to be worried about, am I going to finish it? Am I a minute early or am I a minute late? You realize that you are neither one of those things, that you're neither one of those things, because you realize that you're not based in the past or the future, but you're based right here in the present, and it only matters what you do now and how you choose to progress at this moment forward. So it only matters what you're doing right here in the present. So it's not about lingering in two different worlds, it's lingering within your realm of creation, because then you'll see through the illusion of death when you see through the illusion of time, is that we are eternal, we are living forever, we are a forever expanding organism of consciousness, because we dissolve the illusion of basing something in a concept or a body or time or a schedule or a routine. It's okay to have a healthy routine. It's okay to have a schedule. It's okay to have all of these things. But then you realize, okay, but it's not about the amount of time. It's not about the amount of work that I do. It's not about how I focus my intention on projecting something bad upon myself, using a negative belief against myself. But it's really aligning your heart and your mind together so that you can become that infinity signature and become the twin heart. So that's when the embodiment of the masculine and feminine. That means that it is a circle. That means that there is reciprocation. So it's reciprocating itself in a beautiful figure eight. So you have to have an open mind, and you have to really believe. And you have to believe in the unexpected. You can't live with this void inside of yourself. You have to have something to fill it because you want to be fulfilled. So we allow ourselves to see that it's not what we do on a physical basis, but it's how we envision and visualize and intend and manifest while we're in that I am present state. So we allow ourselves to meditate and get back into sync with who we are and channel that power and see that it's about our intention. It's about manipulating the energy, fluctuating with the energy, being a creator of worlds. And you see how powerful that is because you're allowing yourself to actually project properly. You're allowing yourself to actually manifest properly. You're giving yourself space so that you can create differently. So you're allowing the space and you're allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and let go and be vulnerable and to allow and then receive so that you can become the absence of time, so that you can become infinity. So you're becoming the oneness of who you really are because you're giving up the allegiance on being on a time schedule, looking at your watch, being afraid that you haven't made it yet, being afraid that you're not going to make it for your children, and things of that nature. So it allows you to let go of the fear of things feeling unfinished. So it diminishes the fear of death because we all have a metaphysical death. Because it is a dying of the flesh, it's a dying of the ego and the toxicity and the shadows that we have. So it allows us to heal and expand and transcend upon what we are right here, right now, ever present. Because it allows us to dissolve the fear of all of the details, all of the outcomes, all of the ways that we're adding stuff in that is not representing who we are. So that's why we have to subtract more out of our space, more out of our vortex. And we have to realize that we are not a concept, we are not time, but we are the non-physical I am presence that generates everything and projects everything into creation itself. So if we're projecting everything, we're projecting this house, we're projecting this phone that I'm talking into, we're projecting this cup of coffee that I have right here. And just because you hold your hand to your face does not mean that it's actually a real thing. So it's actually allowing you to cleanse even more karma and even more of your shadows and even more of your past lifetimes because you're focusing your intention here in the now and the present, and you're not lingering within a moment. You're not lingering within the reminiscence of a moment, but you're embodying the experience that is here and that is present, and that you have your eye on the bullseye in a sense, because you're not focused on what happened 20 minutes ago. You're allowing everything to be here and relevant and now, and to be understood, and you're giving yourself understanding because you're allowing everything to be present, to be here, to be now, to be relevant, and to not allow yourself to fall back into those catacombs of irrelevancy. So you don't allow yourself to get into a thought process or a revolving door where you get stuck in a time loop where it feels like you've lived Groundhog Day. And it feels as if you've been going through this loop over and over and over, and then you break through that loop so that you get into a more fluctuating loop so that you're reciprocating yourself clockwise and then counterclockwise, like I said on my last live. but this is a tad different. It's sort of the same thing, but the same sentiment. So it allows you to see that we are not what we think we are. So we have to dissolve the realm of assumption. Now you can assume in a more aligned way. That means that you're assuming your own empowerment. You're assuming that you are non-physical. And then you can take it a step further so that you can allow yourself to see that I am the great beyond. I am all powerful. I am almighty. I can create everything within this existence because I am becoming a realm inside of myself. And that means that there's infinite time, there's infinite configurations of energy, there's different combinations of energy that can be generated, and you're allowing yourself to tap into that electromagnetic kinetic source energy. I'm thinking about doing readings after this message that I have, but this is a channeled message. I'm just letting you know that I have channeled messages and meditations like I'm doing right now, and then I will probably do a readings and healings after the fact, so if you guys are attuned to that. So what I want you guys to understand is that it allows you to see through distortion. It allows you to question yourself even deeper, and allows the seeking impulse to be installed because you know that every day is a new day. You know that every day is a reset button. You know that every day is redemption itself. So then you have all the time in the world, and that's why we learn about new things, and that's why when we're watching TV or movies that signify what we're learning and discerning and meditating upon, and then we're seeing everything in our reality play out, that everything is happening all at once simultaneously. So everything is happening simultaneously. That means the future is happening. That means the past is happening. That means the present is happening now. But what happens when we're more present? We actually align more to the power of the future, and we align less of the past, because we're not lingering in what happened or what that person said or our trauma or our past mistakes, because we allow ourselves to see that we have a brand new life, that nothing is held against us, that we get to really start this over again, and we can break the barrier of time because it's not linear, and it can be in many different directions. It can be in a circle. It doesn't matter how you visualize it, but then it will allow you to, like this person's asking, I'm doing the readings after this live, so I'm conducting a channeled message, if that's what you were asking. So it gives you clarity, it gives you vibrancy, it gives you a sense that I am not based in what I think I am. I'm not based in what time it is, but I am based only in what is relevant and what is here and what is present. And I embody my free will to give myself the empowerment and the discernment to really visualize everything that is in my prophetic nature, that is aligning myself to my prophecy. Because you all are prophets if you're watching this. You all are chosen for the grand awakening. So that's what's beautiful about the absence of time. So it's making you realize your spiritual origin. And that's what's very beautiful. So we're going to conduct a meditation. So you can receive a free meditation, but also you can book private sessions with me for $70 for readings, healings, activation codes, downloads. So we're going to meditate, and we're going to allow ourselves to forget about linearity, to forget about time, and allow yourself to relax and accentuate and feel the sensations of letting go of your burdens, letting go of your worry, letting go of the concept of time. Like your work, your job, I got to get the kids here, I got to go do this, I have to figure this out. But I want you to be able to concentrate and to contemplate and to find a solution to all of your problems so that you can become the resolution. So you can focus on an object, you can allow yourself to lay flat, or you can be yourself, you can dance, you can do whatever you want, but allow yourself to feel free within this space and feel the power that is present. So we allow ourselves to see that the divine does not want us to fret, stress, worry, get muddled in all the outcomes and the details and the time of the day, because everybody's always looking at their watch. They're always worried about this happening, because if they don't get on time there, then they'll forget, and they think it's bad to forget, but we forget to remember. That's what the beautiful thing is about forgetting, is that we have self-remembrance. Then we burst through that veil of amnesia, and then we go out of the ordinary. We do something so out of the blue, so off the wall, that it awakens something inside of ourselves. So it allows us to shift into this parallel reality, and then we start acting out that vibration, that frequency. Rather, we are prosperous because we're not focusing on how long it's going to take to become prosperous, to become successful, and to have great relationships or great friends. We're not worried about how long it's going to take because there is perfected allowance. So everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And now you can breathe at your own pace. Because when you relax back into this, you're playing within your realm. So you have to be your own creator God. You have to realize who God is, finally, once again, and realize that you are that. So you're the creator of all of it. And all of creation is yours if you desire it. Because it dissolves the fear of death. The fear of failing. The fear of worry. And the fear that we're not reaching our potential, or I don't know how to do this. I have a question about this said thing. So it gives us a confidence, a boldness, but it's not an arrogant, smug confidence, but it's empowering, and it's strong, and it's filled with structure, and it gives us something to go on, because it allows us to really let go and really surrender even deeper to that power. That's what the beautiful thing about surrendering is, that we open up to this power once again. We open up to this transcendence once again. And as more that we open up and more that we allow, the more that we integrate within ourselves, and we allow ourselves to open up more doors and gateways and portals and different shapes and geometry of energy. And it's as if you just let everything be for a second. It's like as if time stood still, as if the world stood still for just a moment. Everything just stopped, and it was just pure silence. And you see in that stillness, in that silence, that there is absolute magic there. Because you're using your telepathy once again. You're using your telepathic powers to embrace that third eye. To embrace the very fact that there is no fear, that there is no dying, but there is no hurt or suffering or trauma or the past, because we are in the internal present. So now that you're in the eternal present, you can finally give yourself breathing room. You can finally create more space so that you're creating differently. And that's what's beautiful about this. It allows you to activate that sense that you are a prophet of this new coming age. To explore your psychic abilities and to see that we're not here or there, but we are everywhere and we are simultaneous. So if everything is happening all at once, then that means that we get to pick and choose how we feel at each moment, and what to experience at each moment, and what to act upon at each moment. And knowing that we've made that decision time and time again, and we've had that decision made before we even knew that it was made. So it's just changing the different decisions and choices and the ways that you use your free will. And knowing that there's always a perspective and there's always a transcendent reason on why things go the way that they go. And it's very freeing. It's freeing because you're letting go of the expectation of it. And you're setting the precedent. You're remembering that primordial wakefulness. And you're becoming the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, which is God's source energy in human form. If we just let go of time, then we let go of fear. And if we let go of fear, we start to empower. We start to subtract. We start to add. And then we expand upon that moment every single day. And we just add more frequency. And then we just infuse it and charge it up as if we were charging our phones. So we just charge up the energy. And we just amp up the pressure. And we amp up everything and amplify it with our intentions. And that's just another way that we can design our lives once again. We can totally just flip the script and be born once again and resurrect ourselves. And to see that the only way to experience that is if we just fully let go to that transcendental consciousness and just be it. And then just allow, and then receive, and then bless, and see that you are infinity once again. Everybody take a deep breath. And so it is. So I hope that meditation was very helpful for you guys. And also, just know if you see me go live and I do free live readings and healings, you can take part of that. But also, if you see me going live, just know that you can book private sessions as well for psychic readings, healings, activations, only for $70. And I wanted to really talk about this because when we allow ourselves to dissolve the energy of fear, disruption, lack, unworthiness, conditioning, we realize that it stems from the place of time, because time generates so much of that. It's like, if you think about it, it's like going to school. You have to be on time. You have to be at your class at a certain time. Your job, you have to be there at a certain time or they will fire you, right? So it's almost like, it's like purifying where you're coming from instead of where you're going. And it's like everything. It's like, oh, if I don't buy this thing, it's like if I don't buy this thing online on this like shopping website, if I don't buy it just now, then I won't have it again. But then like maybe you'll see it again and it will come back to you. Because I saw, like, I remember I have this ashtray that I smoke cigars on my lives sometimes too. But I saw this ashtray in this cigar shop and I didn't have the money or the funds to get that said thing. And then suddenly there was an opportunity and then I got it again. And it was like I had the money a separate occasion and then I bought that said cigar ashtray. And it's just like sometimes the divine timing has to be right. So, but it's not like linearity time, but the divine's time is not our time. Sometimes that's why so many things happen. Like you got to move because the divine kind of rushes us. They kind of like put our feet to the carpet and they kind of push us off the cliff and we have to pull the parachute sometimes. But it's not, to that degree. I know that's an extreme, like, hyperbole, but you really understand that sometimes you just need a little nudge. You need a little kick in your ass. You need a little push. And I think that we all do on the spiritual journey. I know that sometimes I push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Like my girlfriend pushed me to go on an amusement park ride when I don't like heights and stuff. But then when I did it, and I was kind of rushed to do it, and she was just like, come on, let's go. And then we did it, and it was like 10 stories high. Freaked me out, but I got past it. And also another thing, swimming in very cold water. Like I would swim in my pool like 30 degrees because Tony Robbins does this, because the pool water is like an electric shock to the body, and you're like telling the flesh like, no, you're going to get into this water and you're going to get this shock, and it's actually very good for you. And also that's why I've been going out into the woods and grounding so much, because I tap into nature's frequencies, and I also go barefoot, and I really understand that when you're grounding, you're actually coming back into balance, and you're still maintaining that enlightened awareness. You're not grounding to just get out of that state, but you're grounding to stay within that state, to stay grounded and leveled. And that's another thing that I do as well. So yes, I read what you wrote, but I'm not doing live readings like right now. And if I missed something that you guys said, I apologize. Person asked, I'll read some of your guys' comments. They say about assuming allows clarifications. Who is your power? God Source Energy, the River of Source. That is my power. So I'm reading, I felt some resistance during the meditation, which definitely means I needed to hear it. That's really beautiful. I'm glad that you, I think I gave you a reading before. So yes, if I miss some of your guys' comments, sometimes when I do my channeled messages, I'm like so immersed in it that I forget to read your guys' comments. And I also, if you're watching on other platforms, just know these are on TikTok as well. So I see some of you made some comments, asked me who is your power, God Source Energy. But there is something called the law of assumption. This person was angry that I didn't answer her question. So I apologize. I was just trying to do my job. But yeah, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. And also, you can book a private session with me as well for $70. But also, if you see me on a live feed and I'm doing readings and healings and activations, you can take part in that too. But I want to thank you guys so much for taking part of this meditation. And I want to thank you so much. Like, God bless you all. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, morning, day, or night. This is White Wolf signing off, and so it is.